Hello everyone and welcome to my final statistics project presentation. My name is Alexis and today I'm going to be walking you through my Google Sheets workbook where I have chosen the data set of median home prices versus 1 gallon of gas since January 1994. So here on my raw data and sample sheet, we did a random sampling of 30 data points, and moving on, and you can see that in green here. Moving on to my summary sheet, looking at the price for 1 gallon of regular gas, I created a frequency distribution table using 5 classes, and you can see feeds into this histogram here. Then, as you're looking at it, you can tell it does seem a little bell-shaped. It is, however, skewed to the left because that long tail is stretching towards the lower price ranges, pulling the mean below the median. Single mode with a clear peak at this first class here with 9 frequencies, and this is a class that's in this area, so 1.136 and 1.690 with 9. And these frequencies match up here with this histogram. And here you can see in yellow, I have our mean, mode, median, range, mid-range here. And going down here, I have calculated the variance, standard deviation, and coefficient. Variance, I used the formulas VAR and the standard deviation. Pretty easy on Excel, super handy. But I converted this to a percentage at 38.51% for the coefficient of variation. And then looking at this position over here in this light kind of blue area, so I separated between the lower and upper, and I have our Q2 median 2.5265. Then we have our Q1 and Q2 or Q3 here, and to calculate the IQR, I subtracted the Q3 from Q1. And then using those numbers, calculating the outliers, which we do not have any values less than 1.0815 or any that are greater than 5.815. So in conclusion, there are no outliers in this data set at all. And we did a standardized data column here. You can see taking the data from column A, which gives us our z-scores. And the measurement closest to the mean, you can see would be the 2.36 because the z-score, here I'll zoom in, is negative 0.091. And this is because its z-score is closest to 0. So this represents almost no deviation from the mean. So in this sample, 0% of the data lies between 2 standard deviations from the mean. The z-scores are less than -2 or greater than 2, and you can see that. I'll zoom out again. In the standardized data, you do not see that. So moving on to the confidence interval sheet, I'm answering the question using your sample, estimate the average price of a gallon of gas since January 1994 with a 99% confidence interval. So I computed a 99% confidence interval for the population mean. My interval bounds came out to be this 1.972 here, and then the upper is 2.919. This suggests is that, or we are confident that 99%, we're 99% confident that the true population mean of a price of 1 gallon of regular gas since January 1994 lies between these two. And this suggests that we took the samples, 99% of those calculated intervals contain the true population parameter. And I'm also using this in Desmos to see that distribution. And then moving on to, I guess I'll mention, calculating the critical values, margin of error, sample mean, sample deviation were all calculated here in Excel. Nice and easy. And then moving on to the hypothesis test sheet. I am answering the question using your sample. Test a claim that a majority of the months since January 1994 have a median home price below 200,000. The significance level alpha I'm using is 0.05 since that is the standard threshold. The null hypothesis here, true proportion of months with a median home price below 200 is exactly 250%. And the alternate hypothesis here, and you can see it's in orange, is greater than 50%, which the alternate hypothesis is the claim. From my calculations, my test statistics here, the z-score is 1.826, and my p-value is 0.034. So the conclusion is our p-value is less than our significance level of 0.05 of the alpha. And so we can reject the null hypothesis. So in context, this means that there is significant evidence to support the claim that majority of the months since 1994 have a median home price below 200K. So our sample proportion is significant enough to conclude that this majority is likely true for the wider population. And I also, you can see here in my Desmos example, I will zoom out so you can see. I took a screenshot, and then my final is the conclusion is to reject the claim. So we have enough significance since you can see that here too. We do have enough evidence that majority of the months have a median home price below 200K. Running quick on time, so I'm gonna keep going. The correlation sheet, last sheet here, I'm answering the last couple questions here. So it's determine if a significant linear correlation exists between the median home price and the cost of a gallon of gasoline since January 1994. And I answered yes, there is a significant correlation between the median home price and the cost of a gallon of gas. Here, just so you know, I changed the sample size from 30 to 26 because I removed the outliers that we were seeing in the, when I was doing the scatter plot, and also in Desmos, there were 4 outliers way out here that I had deleted. And I will pull up my Desmos here so you can see. I guess I'll go back here for a minute and talk more a bit about this. So I assigned the cost of a gallon of gas as the X variable and the median home price as the Y variable. And as you can see, I have included the scatter plot, like I just said, displaying our linear regression here. So looking at Desmos, let me go back here. You can see when I'm using the model to estimate the median home price, the cost of 3, you can see the intersection here is 203, 720, 91 cents. And then the second, estimating the second question of estimating the cost of a gallon of gas if the median home price reached 475,000. The model predicts 8.23, and I have to zoom out. Where's the zoom? Zoom out. There we go. And you can see the intersection here is 8.23 per gallon. So with these two estimates here, I answered the question. I tend to believe more the first estimate predicting that the $203,720.91 home price is based on $3 gas. The reason is as the gas price of $3 falls comfortably within the range of the actual sample data, which spans from 1.14 to like 3.91. This makes the prediction reliable. The median home price, however, is like 475K, is far outside the upper limits of our data set. You don't even see that number at all in our data set here. So relying on the second prediction shows a kind of dangerous error of extrapolation here. So I wouldn't trust the $8.23 at all. And then which, yeah, so I explained here which, if any of the two explanations would you tend to believe more and why. But yes, I'm kind of running out of time, so that was it. Thank you so much for watching my presentation, and that concludes everything. Thank you.